hi, hello. I'm Lisa Michelle, and this is Rare Pairs, the podcast where I randomly select two characters from a pop culture fandom and then do my very best to get creative and convince you, as well as myself, why that pairing would work. Each episode, I will do two different ships, and then at the end, I'm going to leave it to you, the listener, to decide which rare pair you believe is best. Tweet your choice at Rare Pairs Pod, or if you have more to say, I am here to listen, folks. Please email the pod at rarepairspod@gmail.com. As per usual, there is a video component to this podcast, so if you'd rather watch on YouTube, I will be posting there, as well as some highlight reel clips on TikTok and Instagram. Sweet, now that all the adminning is done, let's jump in because I am so excited to talk about this fandom. Today is a big one. We are talking about Harry Potter. Quick disclaimer at the very top. I do not support J.K. Rowling. I am of the camp where I grew up with this series, so it's a part of my life, but I am acting as if they wrote themselves because I do not support what the creator has exposed herself as. And I only say that because I want to make it very crystal clear that this is a safe space and all are welcome here. Okay, let's get into the actual selecting of pairs. To help judge our pairings, we will be using three categories. First, vibe check. And this just means their current compatibility in canon. What are their personality types, ambitions, etc., etc. The second category is aesthetics. Would they make a cute pairing? Because yes, that matters to me. And then 3 is alternate universe, the category where I will do my best to create a story as to how they would get together. Awesome. Let's select the first name for our first pair. I am selecting it from a bowl of names that I printed out earlier. And our first name. Our first name for the first pairing is Arabella Figg, my cat lady in crime. Sup, Figgy? I love her. Going in hot with the Figmeister. Now it's time to select who she'll be paired with. And we have Ginny Weasley. Oh. All right, so it looks like I will be making a strong reason as to why Arabella Figg and Ginny Weasley would make a good pairing. Vibe check, they are both on the light side, so that does help. Arabella Figg, she is a underrated hero, some would say, me being the some. Figgy and Ginny are on the same side, so they're there for the same cause. Is there an age gap? Yes, and as per always, we are using the ruling that everything is between consenting adults. We are aging Ginny up in this because I don't think I really need to explain why we should be doing that. That is how we are playing all of these games for the record. Ooh, I just had a good thought. So we know how Figgy has kept this low profile for years. For years, Harry never suspected that this lady who had been showing him pictures of her cats for years was part of the wizarding world. You know who else I think is pretty good at sleuthing is Ginny. She got a lot of the same traits, or I should say she learned a lot from the twins. As we know, she snuck off and was using their brooms and they had no idea, so she could learn how to play Quidditch. So I think Ginny and Figgy have this in common where they are both on the outer ring of the main characters, I would say. They're watching it all happen and interject when they must, but they're operating under the radar, you know? Also, as far as vibe check, I think if Ginny can be friends with Luna and in many of fan fictions end up with Luna, I think she would help out Figgy. I think that she wouldn't make her feel bad about being a bit different, a bit. I think that she would raise her up. And I also think that Ginny isn't an extremely judgmental person. She's sassy, but I don't think she's extremely judgmental. So she wouldn't judge Figgy for being a squib. You know, like a lot of people I think would look down on her in their world because she's just operating in this in an unfortunate middle ground between Muggle world and Wizarding world. I think that Ginny wouldn't ever make Figgy feel bad about that. Okay, category 2, aesthetics. Would Would Ginny and Figgy be a cute couple? You know what I'm kind of having in my mind is Holland Taylor and Sarah Paulson. That kind of that kind of an age gap working when they're older. I kind of feel like they'd be cute when they're older. Maybe it's just because I really want this for Figgy. I want her to have love if she wants it. Maybe she doesn't, but that is not the point of this exercise. Okay, I would say where we currently have them in canon, probably not the spiciest couple out there, but I think age them up maybe 30 or so years. Then we have a Holland Taylor, Sarah Paulson energy, and that would be so good. That would be so good. So if I was to rate it from like an ice cube to a ghost pepper rating, I'd probably give them like a Tabasco rating. It's a little bit of spice, but let's be real, it could be hotter. Category 3, alternate universe. How would they get together? I am so glad no one asked. All right, let me paint you a picture. The war is done. At this point, Ginny would be aware of the Figmeister given the events of the 5th book and Figgy being at the hearing, so they would be aware of each other. I could see after all of the traumatic events, her brother dying and multiple family friends dying, that maybe Ginny needs to take a step back from the wizarding world. She just needs to unpack, rewind a bit. She's leaving to the country, going back to her roots a bit with the burrow. She needs some fresh air. And on this holiday, it's a wizarding Airbnb in the country. And this is one of the spots where Figgy can go. Everything is magically enhanced. So she wouldn't have to use magic to reap the benefits like she would if she was in most of wizarding culture. And by that, I mean, let's say that there's a wireless that's playing some Celestina Warbeck. There is a wizarding staff that help their food, drink appear, etc. So Ginny goes there to get a bit away from it all, but I don't think she would throw herself into somewhere like Muggle London for some rest and relaxation. I could see her going to a place like this. Figgy is going because it's one of the places she can be around other wizards and it not be the most obvious thing that she herself is a squib. I think at the beginning I said an Airbnb. Okay, I've changed. It's a bed and breakfast. Rooms are just a few apart. You know how there's usually a complimentary breakfast, which is like muffins and tea and coffee? They go down. It's coffee time. They're at separate tables, but like the little 2-people tables. They look over. Ginny's like, hold on. Aren't you Miss Arabella Figg? And the Figmeister, who is just not used to people even recognizing her or really speaking to her willingly, perks up at this. She sees this gorgeous redhead. Yes, I'm a Ginny girl. She sees this gorgeous redhead and is like, look at her. And she's talking to me. And she knows me. And maybe they're having that kind of awkward chit chat of like, oh, what brought you here? Obviously, I'm imagining their tables are like one over. Each of them are facing each other. They're kind of doing the long distance chit chat. And after a few minutes, Ginny would obviously be the one to say, you want to come over and sit? And because obviously she's the one leading the charge. And I think it becomes a friends to some feelings to potentially lovers. But it all starts off in this very vulnerable space where they both kind of want to operate in the middle between muggles and wizards and just not in the thick of all the war trauma or post-war trauma. So they would become friends at this bed and breakfast. And then years later, on their anniversary, this is where they go back. This is where they just return to their roots, man. Can someone please write me this? I need it. I need to read it. I need it so bad. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know how another pairing could possibly live up to Figgy Ginny. Finny? Because I'm already Team Finny. Okay, so now we are choosing the first name for our second pairing, and it will be Tonks. Ooh, so many possibilities with Tonks. Okay, Tonks is paired with. Oh. If you thought that trying to pair Arabella Figg and Ginny was difficult, the new task is Tonks and Umbridge. Okay. Category 1, vibe check. So, okay, trying to find a kernel of where they align, and the first thing that comes to mind is that both of them work at the Ministry. Tonks is an Auror. Umbridge is the head of improper use of magic. Okay, there could be some overlapping there, both trying to bring bad wizards to justice. We found a commonality, people. We are really on our way with this one. Both of them aren't the ones in power. They're both serving to power. So that's kind of similar. And yes, different ways. One would say for good, one would say for evil, but we're just gonna have to power through those differences. Sometimes it makes us stronger. I'm just going to jump to the second category because I think the alternate universe is where I'm really going to have to be doing some legwork here. The second category is, would they make a cute couple? It is canonical that Umbridge looks like a toad, and Tonks, at least in my head of the descriptions, she looks like a 90s grunge girl. So how would that look together? Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. On our ice cube to ghost pepper hotness scale, this is ice. This is ice cold. Tonks is a metamorph magus, so unless she changed her appearance for like the worst, then they both could have a unfortunate toad looking situation, which I don't know if I still would like that. Umbridge is such a tough hang. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tonks. Our third category is alternate universe. So in an alternate universe, how would Umbridge and Tonks get together? Given that Tonks can change her appearance, what if, I'm just saying, what if Tonks was a lady of the night? I am so sorry if anyone who actually knows me listens to this. You might want to skip ahead a few minutes. But what if she had a service where she could change herself into whoever someone wanted them to be or what they wanted them to look like? I could see Umbridge being so lonely, and also she just loves the power so much. I could see her loving having the power of picking someone that is quote unquote designed for her. So maybe Umbridge signs up for this service, sends in her requests, and then when Tonks gets it, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go and embarrass Umbridge, blah, blah, blah. Then they meet for the session, and Tonks is so ready to take Umbridge down. I imagine that she's transformed into an androgynous Cornelius Fudge, corn fudge, and she is buttering up Umbridge. Tonks is thinking, I'm going to take this memory and put it in a pensieve and embarrass her. Blah, ha 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 ha, because she's evil. And so when Tonks is being nice to her, Umbridge is like, oh my gosh, someone is being nice to me? Someone likes me? And the tables turn. It is now not revenge, it's a love story. So after the first meeting, they both leave and they are confused because it went in a different direction than they thought it would. Woo, bow chicka, wow. And then it just keeps happening. Let's say it starts off, there's like a month gap. Ooh, that's classic. There's a month gap in time. And then Umbridge gives in and gives Tonks a call again. Remind you, she doesn't know who Tonks is. I guess I'm not reminding you, I'm telling you. In this AU, she doesn't know who Tonks is. She just knows it is a service where someone looks like someone else for you. Tonks is using a pen name. Ooh, goosebumps. And so then she gives in a month later saying, you know what, I'm getting that itch for attention. And other things. No, other things haven't happened yet. Not in this story. Not in this story. They just talked. So then they meet for a second time. And a similar thing happens. Tonks feels like she is unpeeling the onion that is Dolores Umbridge. Each time she's getting a little bit nicer and better. We are peeling all of the layers back. This goes on, let's say, for 3 months. Little bit of a cat and mouse. Will they? Won't they? They will. And there's also a point where Tonks and her run in at the Ministry. But remember, Umbridge doesn't know that Tonks is this mysterious person. Someone please either comment or tweet me what they think Tonks's code name would be, or I should say what their alias would be, because I can't think of one off the top of my head, but my heart is racing, so I just gotta keep pushing right now. So they have a bump in, and Tonks freezes because she's like, oh my gosh, what? She knows it's me. I am the one you've been talking to. She notices Umbridge isn't as abrasive as she usually would be. They're in the elevators. Oh, it has to be in an elevator. So there's just tension. Umbridge isn't even looking at her. She's daydreaming. She's thinking about her dear sweet insert name here that someone must send me. And then Tonks, next time they meet, is thinking like, maybe she actually is different in the real world now. She's losing that hard, horribly abusive outer shell. That's what's happening. And then at some point, Tonks reveals that it was her all along. And Umbridge, just so taken, so shocked. I'm getting way too into this. I'm getting so into it. I really want someone to write it. That is the biggest takeaway from this whole show is I am too into it. Someone please write me the thing because it will fuel me for weeks. Okay. In this world, we have Arabella Figg and Ginny in love at the B&B. We have Umbridge and Tonks in love in an undisclosed location. And now that we've heard from these two absolutely glorious, stunning ships, I want to help inform the listeners before they make their decisions as best as I possibly can. So I'm going to hit Archive of Our Own, AO3, to see if these ships have ever been written before. And if they have, I'm going to read out the title and the blurb for the first one that pops up. Okay? For both of these, I have a strong inkling that no one has written Figgy Ginny, Finny, and I highly doubt that anyone has written what Umbridge and Tonks, Dolores and Tonks, Donks, or Nymph. Oh my god, would they just be Dora? Okay, that one report back. I feel pretty good about Finny, but I'm going to need someone to pick a ship name for dear sweet Dolores and Tonks. Please and thank you. Okay, so I've done my search and I'm unsurprised but absolutely heartbroken that no one has made any Arabella Figg Ginny Weasley fics, but that's okay. That just means there is a larger market for any of you who choose to write it. Guys, you could own the market on Finny. Why am I so into it? Oh my god, there is a Nymphadora Tonks / Dolores Umbridge fic. Wait, no. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. I am all aflutter. It is called A Little Imperio by Anonymous. Oh my, this came out, okay, so this came out in 2019. What was happening in 2019? Okay. Oh my god. The blurb says, Umbridge lived by the unforgivable curses. Tonks would change that. I can't believe this rare pair has a backing. Oh, this may change the tides. I'm not trying to persuade anyone either way. I'm just saying one has a following. That's so good. Oh my days. Okay. What a way to wrap this up. This has gone in a completely different direction than I thought it would when I first selected these ships, and I am so happy about it. Listeners, thank you for listening to Rare Pairs. You can follow the pod on TikTok, Twitter, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast, YouTube, or feel free to send an email. I really want someone to send me a fanfic of these pairs. It is possible. I gave you all the building blocks. Build me a house or build me a ship. Woo! Please review, rate, and subscribe to help the pod grow. Share it with your family, your friends, your foes, your local bed and breakfasts. They would love it. All right, until next time, be safe and happy shipping. Bye.